Hey, this is Susan from SmokerGrillGirl.com, and what we're going to be doing today is I just got this Blackstone griddle. It's a 22-inch griddle with the hood and Flexfold legs, and just picked this up I got it for Christmas, and what we're doing is we're putting it together today, and we're going to show you the whole process of putting it together. It's our first time putting together a griddle, so we're going to show you everything step by step, so it's going to take us a little time, but we'll be sure to fast forward the unnecessary parts, and then take you step by step on the parts that we think you need to really know. The reason we picked this grill is because it's got the Flexfold legs with the rolling bowl design, making it easy to compact store and carry whenever you go on tailgates or camping or anything like that. So let's go ahead and open this up and see what's inside. Alright, so we got everything all laid out nice and neat, and I'm just going to run through the parts and kind of tell you what's in the packaging. So the first piece is the body, and it tells you to lay it on the ground on some smooth surface. We put it on this cover so that it wouldn't scratch it. And then we got the griddle top with the hood, and then we got the face plate right here, along with the lower leg, and then two upper legs, and then we got two anti-tippers right here that come in the packaging, and then the side shelf, one piece, and then you got the one grease cup that comes with a liner as well. Then you got the hood handle, and then the regulator, two bolt covers, two wheels, and then you got the hardware pack that comes with all the screws and everything that you're going to need, and then as well as the control knobs. And then for the tools that you'll need a Phillips screwdriver, an adjustable wrench, and a box cutter. Those are the only tools that it talks about, the basic tools that you'll need, but you might find yourself needing more tools as you go along. So we're going to put this together, and we're going to follow the instructions step by step and walk you through as slowly as possible. That way we can help you install or assemble your griddle. And I'm going to have a helper help me as well too, because it's best if you have two people working on this as opposed to one. So let's get started. Alright, so there's 17 steps on the Blackstone manual, and what we're going to do is we're going to take you through each step by step. So step one is to remove the griddle from the packaging and place it on a smooth surface, which you can see that we already did right here. Step two is turn the griddle body upside down and unlock the legs. So the little unlocking mechanism is right there, and you'll just want to make sure you unlock it. And then step three is use 12 of the screws, A screws, to install the wheeled leg assembly. So we're going to use 12 of those small screws right there to install the leg assemblies. And those are the leg assemblies that we're going to be installing. These are the upper legs that we're going to be installing. So you want to put them in loose at first, and then once they're all in, then you want to go ahead and tighten them. So the next thing we want to do is use 12 more of those screws, and we're going to install the lower leg assembly onto the fixed leg assembly. So this is the lower leg assembly, and we're going to install it to the lower leg assembly, which is those two right there. So you can lock that in place right there, and then just install this, just slide it in right there. Then we'll connect it using the 12 of those screws. Make sure you don't want to over tighten it too much, but you want to make sure they're tight enough so where it doesn't fall off or don't come undone when you're moving it around. So we actually need to loosen them up a little bit because we didn't see the other side. So we're going to loosen them up, and then we're going to put the screws in on the other side, and then we'll tighten both sides. What were you thinking? What's up? So for step 5, this is what you're going to need, and we're going to use 4 M6 28 bolts, 4 or 6 M6 nuts, and then 2 M6 45 screws to install these 2 anti-tippers onto the wheeled leg assembly crossbar, which is this thing right here. Alright, so let's get busy.
notice these are different?
You'll notice that the two holes are different. The larger ones are for the nuts, so you want to make sure you position them correctly.
Those are nuts. And those are screws. Screw. So the bigger holes here are going to leave room for the nuts. And these are for the screws. So nuts, nut, nut, screw, screw, screw. And according to the directions, you'll have screw from this side, screw from this side, a little gentle nudging to line it up with the hole, push it through the hole onto the other side where the nut will go. A longer screw up from the bottom. These nuts will actually fit down into this cutout here. So if you just let that seat into the cutout and then start threading the screw up into the nut, you don't have to hold the nut as the screw gets tighter into the cap, but hold it down until your screw starts to get really tight, and then as you tighten it, you can see that this will hold down in to the recessed hole. Step 6, we're going to use 2 M1017 bolts, step bolts, to install the, so those are the screws, these are the wheels, and then those are the covers for the wheels. Now, one thing we did notice when we unwrapped this cover is it's missing a plastic piece of it. So we're going to go ahead and install it as best as we can, and we're going to contact Blackstone to send a replacement for it. And another thing we noticed is one of the wheels still has some plastic, a plastic lip on the inside from the manufacturing, so it's making it a little bit hard to push the bolt through it. So we're going to have to take a hammer and kind of gently tap it through to make sure that okay. And then you want to make sure when you install the wheels that the Blackstone logo is facing outward and the lip is inside. Alright, so this is where we're going to be putting the wheel inside the screw in that hole right there. So step 7, we're going to use 2 self-tapping screws, which are those small screws right there, to fasten the faceplate to the bottom of the griddle body, which are those right there. Alright? You'll have to feed the screwdriver through this hole to get to the screw, and then just line it up.
Again, don't over tighten these screws.
So step 8, we're going to use 4 of the M6 12 screws to install the side shelf right here. And this is going to be installed on the right side of the griddle body, which are those right there, those 4 holes right there. Just make sure the label side is facing down when you install it, because remember, this is upside down. Okay, so it's really hard to tighten the ones on the bottom because of the floor. So we're going to wait and tighten these screws up when we set the grill upright. So the next step requires you to tilt the grill back over, but first, before we do that, we want to demonstrate how to fold the legs, because it is a little confusing if you've never done it before. So we're going to walk you through the process. So what you want to do is just grab both sets of legs and push them together, just like you were clapping your hands. Then the one that is on the wheel side, you want to drop, and then drop the other side. And that's how you fold the legs. Now we need to turn it over, and just in the instructions it says you may want to have somebody help you, but if you do not have anybody to help you, I suggest just maybe grabbing the edge here and flipping it over onto its back, and then grabbing the front side edge somewhere, and then just lowering it as best as you can back on to that side. Earlier, we couldn't tighten these because they were on the ground, so we'll go ahead and tighten those now. Now the next step is to actually lift and extend the legs. According to the directions, just put your foot underneath the handle of the shelf, grab the handle of the shelf, pull up, pull towards you, and then lower the top till it seats these hooks underneath here. Will seat right there, and then you let it relax so that they go in those grooves. You'll just slide the latch to where it locks. Now we'll move on to the next step. Okay, for step 11, there's 2 little things that you need to do. It's install the grease cup or grease trap cup, and it just slides in and then sits down. So angle it a little bit, slide it into the hole, and then seat it down. This lip will catch on the inside here. Second is the knobs. As you can see, the flat part is here on top, flat part here. Okay, the next step is step number 12, and it is to place the griddle top onto the griddle body by aligning 4 pins into the holes of the body. The pins are on the bottom. It's these. And here are the holes. You have 1 here, 1 here, and then 2 on the opposite side. So you'll want to align those pins. Come to the back. And you can see there's a small gap here and here. This is where we're going to screw this in. So what you'll want to do is slide this forward, and then reattach the screws here. Okay, so now that we've got this secured onto the back,
we just need to put the handle on. You use these 2 screws that are in the handle. Just take those out. And just leave this one in just a little bit so that you don't lose this. And we'll come over here to the back and come around here, thread the screw up through the hole, slide that on, and then start securing the handle. Again, just take the screw, thread it up through the hole. The other step that's left is just to screw on the regulator for the gas. You can use an LP tank with an extension cord, and we will show you that later, but this regulator is for the small propane tanks that you see usually at campsites on grills. So all you have to do is just remove the black protective covering, slide that down, put it on, thread it on, and then that's it. And you can reposition this. Guess I'm stronger than I thought. You can reposition this if you want the canister to sit up here before you tighten it. Just make sure that it's positioned that way, that direction. And that is the Blackstone model 2015. And you'll notice that it has a latch, locking latch. And then this can be adjusted depending on the locking. If it's loose like this, then we'll just have to adjust it. And I'll do that in just a little bit. Okay, so like I was saying, if your latch is too loose when it's attached, how you adjust it is just unlatch it from here, slide this down, and then these screws, you can adjust those to whatever height you need it to be. And see, there's tight. And then just snug those up a little bit. And you can use a little small wrench if you want to. And then take these, snug those down. And then there you go. It's all adjusted. And it keeps it locked in. Now to lower the Blackstone, just step on the leg here, pull back on the handle until it's away from the hooks, and then just slowly lower down onto the wheels and here. Once you lower it, just reach underneath that little latch. Here, and lock the wheels in place. That way they do not fall down. And then when you want to extend it and set it back up, just push that direction, hold on to this, lower it, step on it, raise it back up, make sure you get it past the hooks and seat it in those hooks. And then that's it.
Alright, so that was the setup of the Blackstone Culinary 2015 model. Be sure and visit my website at smokergrillgirl.com for more tips and information on grilling and smoking foods. We'll talk to you later. Have a great day.